Hi, my name is Kirsten and welcome back to Clear Cut Cooking. Today I'm going to be making a lemon couscous salad with garbanzo beans and feta and dill and a bunch of vegetables. And I really love this salad for lunch or as a side dish. And it's really great. It lasts in the fridge for a couple days and it's a full complete meal because the garbanzo beans give it some protein without meat products in it. So it's a great vegetarian dish if there's any vegetarians out there. So basically to start, I'm just going to let the couscous start cooking. And to do couscous is really quite simple actually. All you do is you just add some hot water to the couscous and you let it sit and it just soaks up all the water, just like rice would, but you don't actually have to cook it on the stove. So I'm going to use about 1 cup of couscous. And this cooks up to be quite a bit of couscous. It'll cook up to be about 4 cups couscous. And I'm going to add about 1 1/4 cup of hot water. You want some boiling water because you want it to kind of cook the couscous. And I'm also going to add a little bit of lemon juice. So I've got about half a lemon I'm going to squeeze in here. And that way the lemon will absorb into the couscous as it absorbs the water and it'll give it a slightly acidic lemon flavor, which is quite nice. And the salad's really fresh. So we'll just give that a little shake around. And basically all you do is you just set it aside for about 20 minutes and don't touch it, and the couscous will just soak up all the water. And once it's done that, we'll fluff it up with a fork and we'll be ready to add the rest of the vegetables. So the couscous is just soaking in the lemon water, and while that's absorbing all the liquids, I'm just going to get all of the vegetables chopped up for the salad. So to start with, I've bought a can of garbanzo beans, and garbanzo beans are also called chickpeas, and they're commonly used in hummus, and they're usually ground up. So I have them whole, and they're a great source of protein. So that's really the protein in the salad. And I've bought them in a can, and I've rinsed them just to get all of the starch from the bean off of them. So it's about a cup. If there's a little more, a little less, again, it's a salad. So if you like certain ingredients, add a little bit extra. I've also got some celery. So I've washed it and I've cut it into thin slices. And now I'm just going to chop it into little cubes. And it's about 1.5 cups of celery, give or take. So we add this all to the bowl with the beans. And next I have some English cucumber. So again, I'm just going to take the cucumber and I'm going to slice it in thin strips. And then just dice it. And you can leave the skin on if it's English cucumber. The skin is quite soft, so just make sure you wash it first. I'm going to add that all, and I have some already chopped, so about another 1.5 cups of chopped cucumber. Again, it's really give or take, whatever you have in the fridge. And then to give it a little kick, a little bit of red onion. So I just sliced the red onion halfway through, and then you can just make little slices in it this way. I like my red onion diced quite small, And a good trick with red onion is to actually taste it first, because sometimes there are different potencies. So sometimes the red onion will be very powerful and sometimes it'll be very mild. So you want to taste it, and then you can adjust the amount you add based on how potent the red onion is. And this one's quite strong. So I'm going to dice it quite thin, and probably only about a 1/4 cup or so. 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup. So you don't want it to overpower the other ingredients because they're all quite mild. Just put a little more in here. And finally, about 3/4 cup to a cup of crumbled feta cheese. And I like to add a little extra because I like feta, so you can really, again, just add as much as you like. So we have it all in the bowl here. And then some fresh herbs. And this is really what makes this salad so fresh and great for a summer lunch. So I've got a bunch of fresh dill. Now, if you can't find fresh dill, you can make this recipe with dry dill, but it's not quite the same. So I'm going to chop up probably about 1/2 cup of fresh dill, because I like lots of fresh herbs in my salad. But just add to your preference or what you have. If you have to use dry dill, probably want to use about 1.5 teaspoons or so, because dry dill is, it's been dried, so the flavors are intensified. So we're just adding this all to the big mixture. And we're also going to add about 1/2 cup or so of chopped parsley. And again, you can use dry parsley, and probably just about 1 teaspoon or so if you're going to use dry. But I would really recommend trying to use fresh herbs. They're really quite reasonable when you buy them at the grocery store. They're only a couple dollars for a great big bunch. And I find if you wrap them in a slightly dampened paper towel and put them in an airtight kind of Tupperware container, they'll last for a good 7 days in the fridge. So the trick is to kind of keep a damp paper towel around them, and then the leaves don't get soggy, and you can use it in your cooking throughout the week.